Everybody, welcome to the very first episode of our UCEazy FireSide Chats. Joining us today is the co-founder and CEO of UCEazy, Vinny Gupta. I know we've been talking about doing this for a while. As you know, our company is more than just about college admissions. And the reason why I really wanted to do this project is because you have so many stories from inspiring parents that you meet. You go to all of these events, and I would love to hear, I know our viewers want to, hear about some of these stories and some of the challenges that these families are facing, and basically create a safe space for our community to come together. I think it's time to acknowledge that, first generation immigrant families face a different set of realities when it comes to everything. But I think that gap between parent and student, parent and child is really wide and pronounced, especially when it comes to that critical high school years.
Yeah, first of all, I'm so glad, Gloria, that we get a chance to do this. I know you've been after me for a while now. There's just so much going on, as you can understand, travel and everything. But I'm so glad that we are doing this. And as you rightly said, we need to work with the community to figure out the right way to support these first generation immigrant families. That's part of our mission, right? To support students from first generation immigrant families with admissions to US colleges, to level the playing field for them. And the more that we interact with these families, the more we are learning that we always knew this, that our challenge would be different. It's not about just supporting any child. It's about supporting a student from a first generation immigrant family where the parents were not born here, did not attend high school here, did not attend four-year college here. So we're learning a lot about that, Gloria, in terms of over and above college admission related stuff. What do we need to do?
Yeah. And that's great. I think that's really kind of at the heart and soul of this company. I know that, I was born in the States. I was born in California, but my mother immigrated from China. So she did not go to, I don't even think she really went to like a college. She went to like an art school in Beijing, and her English was okay. But, she is a first generation immigrant. She didn't go to high school here. She didn't have parents that went to, four generations, Yale or Dartmouth. And looking back on that time, and I'm 30, by the way, but I recently had a discussion with her, and she told me that, I know that high school was really fun for you and you had all your friends, but I felt really lonely. I felt like I really wanted to learn about what you did every day. And the only way that I could understand what high school life was like for you was what little you wanted to share with me after I picked you up from school. Most of the time I was on the phone with my friends, I was looking at my homework, and I was just busy being an adolescent. And when she told me that she felt lonely and that she was an outcast, I think that really made me realize, wow, I really wish I could have connected with her in that way, and how she must have felt like an outcast during all of the parent-teacher meetings, and she wasn't really invited to the brunches. She didn't really have a common topic to talk about with the parents, so she kind of just stood to the side and supported me in any way she could, but made me feel really sad, actually. So
I can completely relate to it, Gloria. So my daughter is almost your age now. So what you just said is actually, I never really thought of things the way you put it so beautifully. But now that you made me think, being a first generation immigrant myself, all my view into my children's high school, the lenses were theirs. It's like whatever I knew about US high school was, they will come back home and whatever stories they chose to tell me, that's how I got to know about their world, including social life like prom, etc. Because back in India, there was nothing like that. So I do remember going to a school event with the kids. Just like you said about your mom, I felt the same way. You kind of almost feel out of place, and you almost are looking to the child to be your host to that event. It's like your presence there is legitimized because of the child, because the child will do that translation from whatever culture you are at into the culture of a US high school. So yeah, there is that tremendous disconnect, which I don't think that I'm a bad parent, Gloria. I think I really want to help. It's just that it's lack of information, it's lack of context. So I do believe I'm a smart guy. I listen when people tell me, but I need information. So I think that going forward, we as UCEazy, we just need to do a lot more in terms of bridging this gap. I think it behooves us that we should be working with the parents of the families that work with us to help them get a accelerated view of life in a US high school. This could be about simple stuff like academics, which is so different, say, from back in India. So how does the coursework work? What are electives? What are advanced courses like honors or AP or IB, etc.? If I take a course, can I drop it? How is GPA calculated? What is GPA? What is weighted GPA? Everything is just alphabet soup, quite honestly, right? So somebody, I think, should be working with these parents to bring them up to speed. Academic is one. The other thing is what happens outside a classroom? Mm-hmm. What are there different clubs? What does the kid do in their lunch break? What do they do after school? We have all our experiences are frozen in time from where we went to school, right? This is just so different. The third element of this is the child's social life. All of this stuff, like I was alluding before, prom, senior night, etc., homecoming king, homecoming queen, all of those are alien concepts. And just by the way, very proud, my daughter was homecoming queen.
Wow.
So extremely proud of that part. So, but I never understood that term forever. Until one day I sat down and said, hey, explain to me what this thing really means beyond the recognition. So there is that element. The fourth is, what do I do if things are not working as a parent? What if my child doesn't like a teacher? Who do I go to? How do I talk to them in an American way so that things get done? How do I get involved in school? What are the different places where I can contribute? Everything is new, right? Yes. So going forward, Gloria, over the next few months, we're going to expand our solutions to include all of these educational elements, which will go beyond just the student to the parent. And that is just completely exciting. Now, will that be the end of it? Meaning, is that the entire solution to our mission of leveling the playing field for first-generation immigrants? I don't think so. I'm sure we'll learn as we go, but we will listen. So to our viewers, please work with us. If you have ideas, we promise to listen and try to act on those.
And I think the great part about what you're doing is, I know that a lot of immigrant parents, they hear all these things, they read the list, they're told, oh, you have to go to these 5 colleges or bust. And it puts a lot of pressure on the American-born child. I know for me, I felt very disconnected with my mom when she basically forced things upon me that I don't even know like where she got them from. Mm-hmm. And, you know, as a parent, she's listening to this auntie tell her this and that uncle tell her that. And I felt like if I had a third-party intermediary, somebody who could show us all of the available options, not just the top 5 schools, and this is what this magazine says, I felt like I could have connected with her in a deeper way, because I felt like, you know, she was looking through things with a limited scope and I was looking through things with a limited scope, and we just had no common language. So I think the best part, at least, you know, looking back, you know, if I had someone to help me through this process, it would have been to be able to bridge that gap in understanding, you know, between me and my mom.
I agree with you, Gloria. I totally believe that me, your parents, and all the other first-generation immigrant parents that we support, I think they all mean well. We mean well. It's just that human beings, they operate out of their own life experiences and the context they are in. Growing up in India, China, Mexico, wherever, our only window into the US 4-year college system were these brand name colleges, Harvard, Stanford, UC Berkeley. It's just that we just don't know that there are 4,400 colleges in the US, but we are sharp people. You got to believe that, right? Yeah. So if somebody says that there are so many, we will pick that very quickly. So when your mom, Gloria, when she was being tough on you, like you said, that the conversation would have been easier if she knew that there were so many other excellent options. If that had happened, she would have felt less stressed out for your own future. And that would have removed the anxiety from that conversation. So that is, the other part of this one is majors.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, in an Indian context, I remember growing up in a developing economy with an extremely high unemployment rate. It was very important that college be a vehicle for employment, which is why lucrative professions or high-paying professions like engineering or medicine were in demand.
Yeah.
And that's what we grew up on. So when we come to this country, since we are not aware of the goals of US college system and the fact that right now US economy is at a 4.5% unemployment, which is theoretically zero unemployment, the rules of the game are very, very different. What is the goal of of a 4-year college degree? I think that is a kind of education that we need to provide to parents and say, hey, the goal is different and here is why. So shift context from an economy with 34% unemployment to zero unemployment. Things change dramatically, right? That's the kind of conversation if we have, then that's when I think we can convince parents and children to think of the US 4-year college journey as different. That's when they'll be open to lots of other soft majors. But that onus of education, I think somebody's got to play that role. And right now, I don't think anyone else is.
Yeah.
I think that we can play that role and hopefully others will join.
And I will say that, colleges want someone different. They don't want every test score to be the same, everybody doing the same thing. Right. And I think that's really what's so hard. I think if I applied to the schools that I applied for, I went to UCLA for undergrad. I'm not sure with my current test scores I can get in. It's getting so hard to get into college. It's not enough to get a 4.3 GPA. I mean, that's just, the pressure is on. So I think now we need to be creative. We need to tell our story in a way that differentiates us, and not just high test scores, because if that were the case, then we would be seeing like a very easy straight shot formula. But you're seeing a lot of high achievers unable to gain acceptances because they're not able to strategize correctly. And we'll be talking more about this as we actually get counselors onto the show. Right. We'll explore different themes, and hopefully it's my hope that the viewers can chime in and share with us, what's on your mind. We really want this to be an open and safe platform for everyone to join together and express their opinions.
Awesome, Gloria. Thanks for putting this together and thanks for having me on the show. I hope to see you soon. Have a nice one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.